Adidas is back, baby. What's up, guys? Vinny here with Sneaker Tweaker, and welcome back to another video. Today we have the performance review on the Adidas Harden Volume 8. Now, this is a shoe where, as I said in my first impressions, I actually was pretty excited for it when I saw the leaked images, and for good reason. I gotta say, I was not disappointed whatsoever. Now, I did do a little bit of a different testing thing, I guess, with this one. I actually, rather than just trying out my normal size 9, as many of you know, sizing with Adidas shoes is a little bit wonky most of the time. A lot of times they do run long or do run big. This time I actually tested out a size 9 and I also went down half a size, which would technically be my Adidas size. And there were differences, and we will get into them here in a little bit. As always though, let's start it off with the traction. The traction on the Harden Volume 8s just builds off of what I said in my initial first impressions. This multi-directional traction pattern with the radial on the sides, the herringbone just outlining the whole thing, and then this JH pattern just going down the middle was absolutely money. Now, I will say it does collect a good bit of dust, but the more you play in it, the more the rubber warms up and the better it does eventually. Even when it collects dust, you don't even notice that the dust is there. You just feel super fast in this thing. On top of that, the traction does have a nice loud squeak, so for those of you that do like that feedback, it is there. Now, I will say that this one, I know I said the Harden Volume 7s were a good outdoor performer. These ones, I will say, probably be a little bit weary. Still probably better than most Nikes, but again, it is more of a pliable rubber than the Harden Volume 7s. As you can see, right here, it actually does have some wear, and I only played in these indoors. It wasn't like an outdoor thing, but I did play a good amount of time. Now, again, the traction is absolutely amazing. It's absolute money, and you got to give it some time to warm up whenever you do play in it. So just like whenever you first start playing in it, and if there's some dust collection and it's not as tacky as you'd like it to be, give it some time playing it a little bit, let it warm up, and it'll grip, and it'll grip like crazy. Now, as for the cushion in the Harden Volume 8, as mentioned before, is full length Jet Boost. So it essentially is the same cushion setup as the AE1. However, it is a lot more bouncier in my experience with the Harden Volume 8s. For me, the AE1s were a little bit more plush. These ones were a little bit more bouncier. And the more you play in it, the more energy you give it, the more feedback you get. So I honestly felt really quick and super explosive with these, especially with this back part right here when you roll into your step. On top of that, the boost just helps propel you forward. Jet Boost is just another great invention, or I guess innovation, by Adidas, and I think and I hope they implement it into more and more shoes. Hopefully they maybe bring back a new crazy explosive and use Jet Boost in it. Who knows? That'd be pretty sick. And as far as the impact protection aspect, it really just keeps you fresh. I loved it. My knees didn't actually hurt after playing in these, and it just was a fun experience. It was super quick, super fast, super bouncy, and there was a ton of impact protection. But with all of that impact protection and all that bounce, you also get a great amount of core feel, especially in that forefoot area where you're supposed to, and it just was an overall amazing experience. Adidas is back, and they're coming for Nike, and I am loving it. Now, as for the fit, like I said, I did try 2 different ones, and this one was an 8.5, this one was a 9. I gotta say, there is a little bit of a difference for me. I mean, enough where I do want to potentially, if I do get more colorways or anything, I do want to go more with the 8.5. That being said, the reason why that is because the 8.5, my feet are slightly wider. They're medium, slightly wide, and going down half a size worked out for me. It did take a little bit of breaking in, but it literally took 1 session of hooping, and then I was good. Now, I will say there was a good amount of and this might be because I hadn't hooped in a while with my daughter being born and me taking a break from hooping for a good amount of time. Whenever I was playing in these initially, particularly in the 8.5s, my like shins and my just that area of my lower leg just really cramped up, particularly my right leg, and I just needed to stretch it out a little bit here and there. But by the end of that session, I felt really good. I feel like the shoes were just broken in nicely, and I had a more one-to-one fit with the 8.5 than I did with the 9. Now the 9, I did have, I will say, a little bit of sliding in the forefoot area, and there was more space between the end of my toe, the edge of my toes, and the edge of the shoe. With this, it was more of a one-to-one fit with the 8.5. So I loved it. I love the containment, and because that fit was more of a one-to-one fit, I felt a lot faster, and I felt like I had more control over my feet and my footwork. So this was great, going down the half a size, and for me it worked out. Now I will say, everyone's feet are different, so your feet might be slightly wide or medium as well, but your feet might also have different shapes to it, high arches, whatnot. I do have a high arch, and again, it worked out. However, I will still say, if you can, go ahead and try it on in store before actually, sticking to that. Again, I will reiterate though, it did take a little bit of breaking in, so you can't just base it just off of trying on. You might actually need to, take some time to break it in, playing it, see if it works. If that's possible, go for it. If not, if you want to play it safe, maybe go with your true size. I went down to 8.5, and like I said, it worked for me. I think that's the most I've ever talked about fit, and that's just Adidas and giving me a reason to. Now, as for the materials and the support, you all know what these have. There are pretty much a textile upper with these EVA caging all around the shoe. It goes all the way from the lateral side to the back to the medial side, and you will get these creases, and you'll get them after even one wear. So the second you wear them and hoop in them, those are going to happen. And then you do have this nice big beefy heel counter, and on top of that, you do have the internal heel counter, and then you have this one piece internal booty, and that just makes for a really great lockdown experience. Your feet aren't going anywhere. On top of that, this shoe has I would say still a nice wide base, and you do have that built-in TPU shank plate. So just as far as torsional rigidity and all of that, just support, it's all there. It's going to just really keep your foot locked down, keep it stable, and just keep it from teetering. You also have this nice leather piece in the toe cap area, and that just essentially connects the two EVA caging. So it works out really well. The support and everything just does a great job. The lacing system really tightens it down. You can crank it down, and it's a nice fit. Like it feels nice on foot. I will say, especially for most people, it's not the best looking shoe, but I will say it's still a pretty damn cool looking shoe. And just for the materials and what they need to do, they do it, and they do it really well. Some people have said, that it has ripped apart on them and whatnot. Hasn't been my experience, and I've played in 2 pairs already. That's just, again, my experience. But again, different people, different experiences. That's just been mine, and I'm 2 for 2 as far as trying these on, and haven't had any issues. Now for the weight on the Harden Volume 8s, and we'll talk about both pairs, the 8.5 and the 9. The 8.5 pair weighs in at 15.1 pound exactly. I said 15.9 ounces for a second. And then the size 9 pair weighs in at 1 pound and 0.2 ounces. So very small difference. The shoes also retailing at $160, and also by the time this video releases, believe the luxury green colorway will also be out, and there are a few other colorways coming out. I don't know the exact release dates, but the luxury green pair, even while filming this video, is already out. So if you guys want to cop, places like Dick's have them, and then also I think that Adidas still had them in stock last I checked. So they know their shoes are doing well, and they're making more and more. So these are in stock, and same thing with the A1 Velocity Blues. Both of those, last I checked on Adidas, were still available. So for those of you that are wanting to cop, I wouldn't blame you. Adidas is absolutely killing it this year. They are going out for blood, and they are taking it. And again, I love it. I love this competition. It's going to hopefully force Nike to innovate better and come out with more exciting tech and more exciting shoes. So hopefully we'll see that back and forth, and we'll benefit from it as consumers. Maybe even, drop some prices down, because these for $160, and then the A1s for $120. I mean, you're getting top tech for those price points. Nike's got to do a little bit better. Now, a lot of people also ask us where we get our basketball socks from. The answer is from Amazon. They come in a pack of 3 that costs just as much as 1 pair of Nike Elite socks. The ones we have are these 2 muted colors, which the white one and the black one, and they are quarter length. So if you guys like quarter length, they have them available in that, but they also have them in the high top version. Like I said, they come in a pack of 3 that costs just as much as the Nike Elites. And these are pretty much the same thing, but without the Nike branding. They're cushioned, they're ventilated, and they're amazing socks, and they last a long time. If you guys do want a pair, hit the link in our description down below and go grab yourselves a pack. Not a pair, grab yourselves a pack. If you guys have played in the Adidas Harden Volume 8s already, let us know your experience down below. Did you go true to size? Did you go down half a size? Let us know your experience. We'd love to hear it. And if you guys do want us to test any other shoes, again, comment down below. For more content like this, please like, subscribe, and follow. We'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.